Hey Collective, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day today. So after a breakup, everyone gives you the same advice. Just stay busy. Fill your schedule. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone else, which is the stupidest advice I have ever heard. You've been running on that hamster wheel for weeks, maybe months. New hobbies, late nights out, endless scrolling, anything to distract yourself from the pain. No offense to whomever you got your advice from, but most likely it's what's keeping you stuck. The science of healing tells a very different story, and it makes a sharp distinction between distraction and genuine healing. Understanding that difference is the key to finally getting over your ex, or anyone, for good. Let's be real. The urge to distract yourself makes total sense. A breakup can feel like a physical injury. In fact, neuroscientists have found that emotional pain from rejection lights up some of the same regions in the brain as physical pain. Your mind is signaling that something is deeply wrong. And just like you'd want to numb a broken bone, your first impulse is to numb the emotional agony. Distraction looks like the perfect painkiller. So you say yes to every invitation. You pack your calendar until there isn't a single empty slot for a stray thought. You might throw yourself into work, chasing deadlines with a passion you haven't felt in years. Or maybe your distraction is quieter. A constant stream of podcasts, a Netflix marathon that bleeds one day into the next, or that hypnotic, endless scroll through social media. You're not just passing the time, you're actively trying to outrun your own mind. And for a little while, it works. While you're in that spin class, you're not thinking about them. While you're laughing with friends in a loud bar, the ache in your chest feels a little duller. This creates a powerful illusion of progress. You think, see, I'm doing it. I'm moving on. I didn't cry today, so I must be healing. But then the inevitable happens. You get home, the door closes, and the silence is deafening. Or a song comes on the radio, one you both loved, and suddenly you're right back where you started, ambushed by a wave of grief that feels even stronger than it did before. This is the cruel trick of the distraction hamster wheel. You're running and running, putting in all the effort, but you're not actually going anywhere. You're just getting tired. The problem is that our culture often mistakes functioning for healing. We praise people for bouncing back and staying strong, which just usually means not showing your pain. This puts pressure on us to slap a smile on and pretend we're okay. You're keeping busy to convince others, maybe even yourself, that you're fine. I'm fine. It's fine. We're all fine. But this performance only postpones the real work, keeping you emotionally tethered to a past you're trying so hard to escape. It's a short-term bandage on a wound that needs stitches. So, what's actually happening inside your brain when you do this? The reason distraction feels good but ultimately fails is because it's a form of avoidance. And psychologically, avoidance is the enemy of processing. Think of your grief like a stack of emotional paperwork on your desk. Distraction is like shoving that paperwork into a drawer every time you see it. The desk looks clean, so you feel productive, but the work is still there, waiting. And the longer it waits, the bigger the pile gets. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology highlighted this perfectly. Researchers looked at recently heartbroken people and tested a few different coping strategies. One group practiced negative reappraisal, where they focused on their ex's bad habits. Another group was guided to accept their feelings. The third group was all about distraction, thinking about positive things that had nothing to do with their ex. The results were telling. The group that focused on their ex's negative traits actually felt their feelings of love decrease. But the distraction group, while they reported feeling happier in the moment, it had absolutely no effect on how much love they still felt. Let that sink in. All that work you're doing to keep busy might give you a temporary mood boost, but it does nothing to untangle the deep emotional attachment you still have. Love regulation isn't like an on-off switch. It takes regular effort to make a lasting change. You're treating the symptom, the bad mood, but not the cause, which is the attachment itself. A helpful way to think about this is using the analogy of love and addiction. When we're in a relationship, our brains get a steady supply of dopamine, the feel-good chemical, creating a powerful reward circuit. When the relationship ends, that dopamine supply is cut off, and your brain can go into a state of withdrawal. You get cravings, obsessive thoughts, and a deep urge for another hit by contacting your ex or checking their social media. When you use distraction, you're giving your brain a temporary alternative hit of dopamine. A fun night out, a new purchase, a flurry of likes on a photo. It all provides a little burst of pleasure that masks the withdrawal. But it doesn't recalibrate the underlying wiring. Your brain is still configured to seek the reward it got from your ex. That's why as soon as the distraction fades, the craving comes roaring back. You haven't weakened the connection, you've just ignored it. This is the difference between emotion relief and attachment recovery. Distraction provides relief, but only genuine processing leads to recovery. Okay, now, if the hamster wheel is a dead end, where is the exit ramp? Genuine healing isn't about ignoring the pain. It's about moving through it with purpose. It's about giving your brain the time and space it needs to process, rewire, and build a new future. This isn't about passively waiting for time to heal all wounds. Time alone doesn't heal anything. It's what you do with that time that matters. A powerful, evidence-based approach can be broken down into 3 steps: confront, reclaim, and boundary. The first and most counterintuitive step is to give yourself permission to feel the pain. For so long, you've been running from your emotions. Now, it's time to turn around and face them. This isn't about wallowing. It's about intentional, structured, emotional processing. Create a worry window or a dedicated processing time. If you're going to be in your feelings, allow it, just not all damn day. Schedule an appointment with it. 15 to 20 minutes a day should do it. Fully engage with your feelings. Journal, listen to that sad song, look at old photos, scream, or bawl your eyes out and cry. The key is to feel it all without judgment. None of, I should be over this by now. Says who? Just observe your emotions, name them, and let them be. If you like to journal to process, here are some good prompts for you. What specific memory came to mind today, and what emotion did it bring up? What is one thing I miss right now, and what is one thing I definitely don't? When was a time in the relationship where I didn't feel like myself? Remember, it helps to get your obsessive thoughts out of your head and onto the page. When your 15 to 20 minutes is up, close the journal, shut the song off, wipe the tears away, and consciously move to a pre-planned activity. You're in charge, not your feelings. Now, step 1 is about processing the past. Step 2 is about consciously building your present. The goal here isn't about just filling your time, it's about refilling your sense of self. This is called self-concept reorganization, and it's major for your post-breakup well-being. If you were in a long-term relationship, which I would classify anything that was 3+ years, your identity most likely got all tangled up with your partner's. You become a we, right? When the breakup happens, it feels like you lost a part of yourself. And in a way, you have. The emptiness you feel isn't just your ex's absence. It's the absence of who you were with them. Now, immature, mindless distraction tries to patch this hole with rebound relationships or random, reckless activities. Reclaiming, on the other hand, is about asking, who am I on my own? So if you want to figure that out, here are some tips. First, do an identity inventory. Grab a piece of paper and make 3 columns. First column, list the hobbies and interests you had before the relationship. The second column, list things you've always been interested in but never tried. The third column lists your core values that matter to you, like creativity, integrity, or health. Step 2, choose one thing and start small. Keep your list. Pick one thing that sparks even a tiny flicker of interest. And then step 3, focus on mastery, not distraction. When you're doing these things, the goal isn't to forget your ex, it's to be present in the activity. This will build new neural pathways, creating new sources of joy and accomplishments that are all your own. In other words, investing energy back into yourself will call back all the pieces of your identity, moving you from a we back to a me who is whole and resilient. Now, finally, you have to create firm boundaries between you and your ex. Often called no contact or low contact, and is one of the most powerful tools for recovery. Trying to recover while still talking to your ex is like trying to quit sugar while keeping cake on your nightstand. You will try to resist this. You'll tell yourself, we can be friends, or I just need one more conversation for closure. I did this. No, you don't, and you can't. Closure is something you build internally. It's not something someone else gives you. It doesn't have to be cruel, mean, or nasty. Just, this is done. Chapter closed. It's not about punishment. It's an act of self-preservation. Of course, co-parenting or shared workspaces require a more nuanced approach, but emotional distance still applies. Go on a digital blockade. Mute, unfollow, or block all socials. And I don't give a shit what anybody says, this new age, if you block them, it means you care, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. Block them. Delete their number or change yours completely. Seeing updates about their life will only reopen a wound you're trying to close. Inform mutuals. Let anyone, friends, family, coworkers that you share know you need some space and don't want updates about your ex, or to be asked if you've spoken to or seen them recently. Set a time frame. 30 to 90 days is a solid starting point to feel a real shift. It really depends on a lot of factors, so that's not a hard and fast rule, but 30 to 90 days of no contact will give your brain time to recalibrate as the intense initial withdrawal symptoms subside. It will allow you to stop reacting and start focusing on your own life. It breaks the cycle of hope and disappointment and signals your brain that you're prioritizing your own recovery above all else. So friends, let's bring it all together. The common advice to just keep busy after a breakup is at best incomplete. At worst, it's a trap. Distraction is a temporary bridge. It can get you across an overwhelming moment, but it's not the destination. And it won't reduce the love or attachment that's causing the pain. Genuine healing isn't about running or avoiding your feelings. It's about having the courage to confront them with purpose in small, manageable doses. It's about finding yourself and reclaiming your identity, not by randomly filling your time or using others to make you feel better about yourself. And it's about setting firm boundaries to give yourself the clean space you need to do that work. The process isn't easy or linear. There will be good days and bad. Some days can be really bad. But every time you choose to process instead of avoid, to reclaim instead of replace, and to set a boundary instead of building a bridge to the past, you're doing it. You're healing. You aren't just getting over your ex, you're growing through the experience. You're building a stronger, more authentic version of you. You're building a future you love, and that's a future worth fighting for. I hope this helped or resonated for you today. If it did, please like and subscribe. And until next time, friends, keep healing. See ya.